Hello all, welcome to the next session on Web Programming Laboratory. So today we'll be discussing experiment number 5 of the syllabus. The experiment number 5, the question goes like this. Design an XML document to store information about a student in an engineering college affiliated to VTU. The information must include USN, name and name of the college, branch, year of joining and email ID. Make up sample data for 3 students, create a CSS style sheet and use it to display the content. Now, that is the question. Let us look at the question one by one. First part of the question, they are asking us to design an XML document to store information about a student. Now, before proceeding, let us try to understand what we mean by an XML document, how is it different from HTML, and what are the features of this XML. Let us try to learn XML first. Okay, what is XML? XML stands for Extensible Markup Language. As we all know, what is a markup language? It is not used to process anything, it is just used to store or display the data. XML is a markup language much like HTML. XML was designed to store and transport data. The basic purpose of XML was to store the data and transport it, whereas the purpose of HTML is used to present the data or display the data. XML was designed to store and transport the data. XML was designed to be self-descriptive, and XML is a W3C recommendation. It's a W3C recommendation. So this is an example of an XML file. So this is the first line that we have here, that is called as a prologue, that mentions the version as well as the character encoding. Then we have a root node. In this case, the root node is the name of that particular tag, or the root tag, or the root element as we can call it. It is note. Within that we can have sub elements, or we can have the other elements within it, that is nested within this note element. Okay, we have the to, from, heading, body and so on. So we should have one root element within a XML document within which other nodes can be nested, or in which other nodes can be specified, or other tags can be specified. Let us look at the difference between XML and HTML before proceeding. XML and HTML were designed with different goals. Let us see what are those. XML was designed to carry data with focus on what data is, whereas HTML was designed to display the data with focus on how the data looks. As we discussed earlier, XML was designed with the purpose of storing and transporting the data. It has nothing to do with displaying the data. Whereas HTML, it was designed to display the data. It has nothing to do with storing and transporting the data. XML tags are not predefined like HTML tags are. As we had discussed while we learned HTML, HTML comes with a set of predefined tags. The tags are already defined. Whereas in case of XML, there are no predefined tags. We need to define the tags that we are going to use. The user or the author of the XML document, they need to define the XML elements or the XML tag names. There are no predefined tags in case of XML. XML is extensible. That means we can go on adding new elements to a XML file there. XML separates the data from its presentation. It is used to represent the structure of the data before it is being displayed. So these are the difference between XML and HTML. The basic difference is XML was designed to store and transport the data with focus on what the data is, whereas HTML was designed to display the data with a focus on how the data should look. XML simplifies things, that is, it simplifies data sharing, it simplifies data transport, it also simplifies platform changes as well as data availability. Since XML stores the data in the form of plain text, it will be very easy to actually migrate from one platform to another. So it is represented in terms of text, or in the form of plain text. So XML also provides structure to the data, a proper organized way of representing the data as well as transporting it. Okay, so these are the purposes for which XML is used. Let us see what do you mean by XML tree structure. XML documents are formed as element trees. As we had seen in HTML, elements which consist of opening and closing tags and some content in between. Similar to that, we also have XML elements. XML is having or it's following something called as the element trees. An element tree starts at the root element as it is shown here and branches from the root to the child elements. All the elements within the root elements, these are the child of the root elements. All elements can have sub elements as well. Okay, the inner element, the child can have the sub child and so on. So every XML document should have a root element within which the other elements are specified. So this is an example for XML tree. Suppose we have an element called as a bookstore. Okay, within that we have a child called as book. So within which we can have sub elements such as title, author, year, price and so on, and its attributes. These are the element names and these are the attributes. Okay, just like HTML attributes, we can also have attributes for XML elements as well. Now let us look at what are the syntax rules for XML. XML documents must have a root element, that is what we just discussed now. XML prologue is optional. If it exists, it must come first in the document. As we had seen earlier, this line, it's called as a prologue. This is optional, this line, which is called as XML prologue, but if it is included, it should be specified at the beginning of the XML document, which includes the version as well as the encoding. All XML elements must have a closing tag, which was not mandatory in case of HTML, whereas in case of XML, every opening tag should have a closing tag. All XML tags are also case sensitive. Okay, so we should keep this in mind. XML tags are case sensitive. XML elements must be properly nested. Okay, we should ensure the elements are properly nested. The last opened tag should be closed first and so on. We should follow proper nesting in case of XML elements. XML attribute values must always be quoted. We should specify them within the double quotes, the attribute values. Some characters have special meaning in XML and should not be used within the XML tags. For example, the less than symbol or greater than symbol. Now these characters, they have some special meanings in XML and should not be used within the XML tags. XML documents that conform to the syntax rules mentioned above are called as well-formed XML documents. If they match all the syntax rules that is mentioned here, we call such a XML document as a well-formed XML document. Let us see what do you mean by an XML element. An XML element is everything from including the element start tag to the element's end tag. Okay, everything including the element start tag and including its end tag and everything in between, we call it as a XML element. An XML element can contain text, it can contain attributes, it can contain other elements as well as mix of all the above. Here's an example for an element called as price. So there is some value that is specified within the opening and closing tag. An element with no content is said to be empty element. This is an example for an empty element because nothing is specified within the opening and closing tag or in between the opening and closing XML tag. So this is also an element, an example for empty element. Let us look at what are the XML naming rules. XML elements must follow these naming rules, that is, element names are case sensitive. Elements names must start with either a letter or an underscore. Element names cannot start with the letters XML. Okay, elements names can contain letters, digits, hyphens, underscores and periods. Element names cannot contain spaces. Now these are the naming rules that we need to keep in mind when we are defining the XML elements. Now let us see what do you mean by XML attributes. XML attributes, elements can have attributes just like HTML elements. Attributes are designed to contain data that is related to a specific element. For example is given here. Suppose we have an element called as person. We can set a attribute with a value male or female. And mind you, this value of the attribute should be specified within the double quotes. It must be quoted. Now let us see what do you mean by DTD, document type definition. A document type definition defines the structure and the legal elements and attributes of an XML document. An XML document validated against a DTD is both a well-formed as well as a valid document. The purpose of a DTD is to define the structure and the legal elements and attributes of an XML document. Okay, so this is the basics of XML. So we saw what what does XML stands for. It stands for Extensible Markup Language. We saw the differences between HTML and XML. We saw what is the use of XML. That is, XML is used to store and transport the data, whereas HTML is used to present or display the data. And we also saw what are the naming rules in XML for the elements, as well as what are the syntax that needs to be followed for XML. Now let us proceed to our experiment. The experiment is design a XML document to store the information about a student in an engineering college affiliated to VTU. Now what are the information are we supposed to store? We are supposed to store the USN, the name, college name, branch, year of joining, and the email ID. So we need to create elements for each and every information that we are going to specify. Also, we are supposed to make up a sample of 3 students. Now we are supposed to apply a CSS style sheet and display to the document. Let us see what is it that we are going to do. So let us first go to our XML file. So this is our XML file. For the time being, let me just comment out this line. Okay. So apart from this, we have the prologue here, XML version 1.0 encoding UTF-8, and after that we have a root tag called as student information or student info, student underscore info. This is the root element in our XML document. Now within this, we have added 2 headers just for differentiating between the different student information there. So we have a heading called as H1 that represents student information. The content of that particular element H1 is student information. Mind you, this is not the H1 of HTML. This is a user defined element or user defined tag here. You can use any other tag also. So we have used a tag called as H1. So you can use any other tag also. So H1 student information, this is the first element within the student info, that is nested within the student info element. The student info is the root element of our XML document. Within this we have a student information element. Okay, so within this we have a student information element. Now after this, for every student we are going to use this H2 element, or you can use any other element name of your choice. We have used S2, you can select any other name also. So just to differentiate between the 3 student information that we are going to specify. So first we are going to represent student 1, so H2 student 1, we close that element H2. Now as per the question, we are supposed to store the USN, name, college name, the branch, year of joining, as well as the email ID. So we can create our own element called as USN here. Open the USN tag, specify the value for the USN or the content for the USN, and close the USN tag that holds the USN for student 1. The next tag that we have that we are going to use here is the name. So we are going to specify the student name and we are going to close that particular tag. Okay, so open name tag, specify the name and close the name tag. Then we are going to represent the college name. So we are going to specify the third tag. You can use college or COL, whatever it is that represents the college name. So we have used an element name called a COL. So we open the element COL, the college, we mention the name of the college and we close it. So USN number followed by the name of the student followed by the college name. Then we specify an element to represent the branch of the student. So we name that element as a branch, open tag called as branch, mention the branch name and close the branch tag. And at the end we mention the year and the email ID of the student, year of joining. For that we use one more tag called as year. We open the tag, we write the year of joining and we close the year tag, and then email tag, email ID of the student, okay, and close the email tag. So from here, from the H2 till the email, that represents the information of one student. or from USN till the email. So we are representing the USN of the student, name of the student, college name of the student or the name of the college in which the student is studying, branch, the year of joining, as well as the student's email ID. That is for one information. Now as per the question, we are supposed to store the data for up to 3 students. So let us repeat the same thing for the student 2. Again we use the same tag h2. So we demarcate the second information by adding a heading called a student 2 followed by the same set of tags. Only thing is we are changing the information here. So second student's USN number, the name of the second USN, the name of the student of this USN, college name, the branch, as well as the year of joining followed by the email ID. This represents the information for the second student. We need to follow the same for the third student as well. So student 3, USN for that third student, name of that third student. Let us just change it to, let us give some other name here. Instead of Tom, let us give it as Alice. Okay, now the third student name, we have it as Tom, college is CEC, branch is CSC, year of joining is 2019. This is the USN and this is the email ID. Let us just save this. This is as simple as that. We are basically structuring the information of the student. What are the information that we are storing here? We are storing the USN, the student name, the college name, the branch, year of joining, and the email ID. This is one part of our question. So we have created an XML document to hold these information pertaining to 3 students. Now how to view the output of this particular XML? Okay, before viewing the output, I think we missed one tag here. Let us close this tag, save this, and let us try to view how our XML document looks like. So let us go to the browser. Let us just reload the page. This is the XML document. Okay, this is the XML that we have created. As you can see, we have these elements. Okay, we have the h1, h2, we have the USN name, college, branch, year, and email information of 3 students. This is how a XML document looks like on the browser without any styles. Now as per the question, we are supposed to apply some styles to these XML elements. Okay, so just to improve the look of the contents, rather than displaying it as a plain text, let us try to add some style to it because it is mentioned in the question. So to add a style to this XML document, so let us go back to the editor. We need to include this statement here that we had commented earlier. So we need to use XML style sheet. So here what we are doing is we are referring it to an external style sheet. So what we do is we use XML style sheet, we specify the attribute type equal to text/css, and we have hyperlink href equals to file.css. We link it to an external CSS. Let us see what do we have in that external CSS file. So let us just open that external CSS file. This is similar to your external CSS that we have used for your HTML document. Okay, for every tag we mention the name of the element, open brace, close brace, specify the attribute value followed by semicolon. So for the h1 element of our XML document, that is for this element, we specify the text color to be green and font size to be 30 pixels. Okay, similarly for the h2, that is the second element h2, we specify the styles. We mention display block. That means we are going to apply this style to the entire row. Block represents one entire row in your web page. For that entire row, we are going to select it. We are going to apply this style. We are going to set the left margin as 20 pixel. We are going to set the color as brown. We are going to set the background color as cyan and font size as 30 pixels. Similarly for USN, again we select it as one block. We apply the style to one block. Apply the color blue. Margin we set it to 40 pixels. That is the left margin we set it to 40 pixels. Font size 20 pixels. We apply the similar style to the other elements as well. This is up to you, depending upon what is your preference. How should you want your output to be displayed? You can modify the styling details. You can select some other color, you can select some other font, some other font size, different types of arrangements, and so on. So we have selected this type of styling in our external style sheet. So for each and every element, starting from h1 to the email, we have applied these styles. This is left to the user. How does the user wants to view the contents of the XML file? So this CSS file, we have applied these styling to our XML elements. Okay, so h1 should be displayed in green color in the font 30 pixels. h2 we are going to display it at the 20 pixels from the left margin distance. Color we have set it to brown, background color we have set it to cyan, font size is 30 pixel, and we are applying it to the entire block, that is one entire row within your web page. So let us try to apply it. So applying the CSS is done using this line here, XML style sheet type equal to text slash CSS and refer to an external CSS file. Just mention the name of the file here. If it is that is a different folder, we need to mention the path to that particular CSS file. So let us save this and let us try to reload the page in our browser, and this is how the XML contents look like. So this looks better compared to the previous plain XML document. Here we have applied styles. See, the color to this h1 is set to green. Here the color is set to brown for h2. Margin is set to 20 pixel. The background color is set to cyan. Here the margin is set to 40 pixel. The background color we have not set it. And for the entire block we have set the background color to blue. I mean the text color to blue, and so on. You can select any color of your choice, but make sure the contents that is specified in your XML is displayed in a better way. As we had discussed earlier, XML has nothing to do with displaying the contents. XML is only concerned about storing and transporting the data. In this example, we are not transporting the data, we are just demonstrating how to organize the data in XML and display it by applying some CSS to it. So that is your experiment number 5. So we learned what is XML, how to create an XML document, what do you mean by a prologue, what is the difference between XML and XML and HTML, and how to apply CSS to a XML document. Thank you.